Ansary here for June 26th, 2019. Just a brief update. I'm going to be moving the content forward on this channel with a central focus, and that is the changes in the sun, how we are affected, and how we can use this knowledge to empower our lives. And over the course of the last 15 years, there's been various areas of core focuses. Some topics have hundreds of videos, for example. I think that there are periods in time to focus on certain things, and then when we see elements of the cycle wake up, elements of us wake up. And so I have been recentering my focus over the course of the last month, writing about 100 pages in preparation for the Coast to Coast AM interview. And now that that has passed, and the show went very, very quickly. And one of the things that I was concerned with, how was I going to get out the basic idea on radio as fast as radio can flow, especially coast to coast? Being a longtime listener and seeing also George Norrie's rise, if you will, with taking the reins of Coast to Coast after the turn of the solar cycle 23, because I'm often talking about solar cycles and changes, not always wars, sometimes positive changes. I talked about getting involved in the alternative media in 2004 and that being a wave of various people that began to speak their truth using the technologies that were emerging at the time. YouTube being founded in 2006. And so what I'm looking at here is a wealth of ideas, both scientific studies and a growing body of personal observations, personal notes on how the powers that be use the solar cycles against us. With regards to what we can do, I spoke about the Creator and how I don't take the Creator out of the scenario when it comes to prayer. When it comes to the changes in the sun long term, I've always suspected that it would be the expression of the divine intervention. There's various people that have had visions and dreams of things coming to pass, but also major changes with the sun. Changes in the color of the sky, a blood red sky in some cases. And so Coast to Coast AM has had a number of people on, especially recently, because there seems to be an awakening to these changes that's accelerating, the changes in the sun. This information is coming out about the magnetic field shifting faster than previously thought. Last year it came out in a study that the magnetic field can flip in less than 100 years, essentially in our lifetime. Prior to that, they weren't so sure. It's been an area of speculation and debate. In the last several months, we've seen the study come out from Caltech and the University of Tokyo, where in a controlled setting, they measured detectable changes in brain waves. And they noticed a drop of 60%, literally in milliseconds, followed by a return to normal. And so we're in a new era of the solar sciences as we approach 2020. 100 years after Alexander Chizhevsky in Russia first proposed his ideas. And so I'm going to be expanding my studies into other areas. There's also been new studies and information that I've come across in preparation for the radio show that was last night. Studies such as the CIA did their own analysis on when their remote viewing programs were most effective, correlating it to, in some cases, low geomagnetic activity when the field is quiet. So we are now in a deep solar minimum, and we can see a growing body of news regarding devastation to crops. We can also see from spaceweather.com a report about cosmic rays going up 18%. How is this affecting human behavior? Okay, and that's over the course of the last 4 years. We've certainly seen an increase in unrest. As far as world events, on June 14th, 2019 of this year, we saw an event take place that took the world by storm. And now Iran is back in the news. So after the event, the explosion, we saw a rise in news regarding Iran and the downing of some kind of a drone. Over the years, there's been a lot of effort that I've put out on YouTube to highlight the potential of a stage-managed World War III scenario. And what I wanted to do is relieve myself of that type of a belief that I need to keep doing that as time goes on. Because on one level, we need to be aware of what's going on, and I'll be updating and maintaining WorldWar0.com for the geopolitical updates. But as far as the things that we're speaking about, the things that we're focusing on intently, I think now is the time to start bringing in some of these spiritual ideas a little bit more directly. And so with that, I will be back. I'm going to start going through the notes as I edit them and get ready to publish it. Kind of a follow-up to the ebook that's currently available at Amazon. Okay, and we're going to be going through the information slowly. I've done some other videos that are like 3 hours. We're going to go through this information bit by bit. And as I do that, more documentation and citations will be added to my website, solarmaxnews.com. Okay, and if you can go there now, you could bookmark it, you could take a look at what's been done over the course of the last several weeks. You can also see the slideshow presentation, the gallery is there. It's available, you don't even have to buy the ebook. And so the ideas are there. Some of the citations, for those of you that have never known about the article that New Scientist produced in 2008, headline, Does the Earth's Magnetic Field Trigger Suicides? And so we covered this a few months ago, the new moon connection. And so what people need to understand as we go through these changes and people see people melt down around them, some people are going to respond in negative ways because they may not know how to deal with the flood of emotions that are going through their body. By learning about these things, by engaging in meditation, by pulling back from those things that bring us a certain level of interference, right? Being more solution oriented instead of just focusing on the perceived spiritual parasites just by itself. We need to do more to protect ourselves on a planet to where I don't believe we're alone. And I believe the forces of darkness use the solar cycles against us. So it's time to have that victory over darkness, if you will, within the higher self over the lower self. Using these heightened awarenesses, energies, and emotions for the highest good. If you feel called to be a service or to volunteer in some way or to help in a study, I'd like to get more active in the future, possibly traveling. I have some ideas. I'd like to finish my autobiography, maybe from a place of community, where there's a little bit more of an exciting energy going on. I'm wanting to see potentially parts of America before the rollout of 5G. 5G is going to bring hundreds of gigahertz to our reality, and it's not natural. We naturally sync with the Earth's magnetic field. Okay, at 7.83 hertz, I believe. And so when people talk about the potential in the future of major grid disruptions, that would be chaotic. That would be problematic. But how do we know for sure that nature doesn't already have a plan to deal with whatever type of dark energy is over the earth? I'm going to leave it there. and I'll talk to you again soon.